We're back.
Yes. Welcome back. Once again, it's the Mansdem. It's the Herb, Jesus Noir. This is going to be the second part of today's podcast. So we'll discuss the big battle last night. Bucks went to LA to take on the Lakers. What did you think about that game last night?
I thought it showed that the Lakers are for real.
Okay.
It didn't show that the Bucks aren't for real to me. I mean, it was a hard battle. It was a playoff atmosphere type battle. It was nice. It was good. I didn't watch the entire game just because I had some.
We're on the East Coast, man.
It was tough. I have a comfortable couch that I just got, so I mean, and I kind of fell asleep by mistake. I mean, but I mean, it's from what I saw and just kind of reading the accounts and everything like that, it was a really good game as far as the stuff that I didn't see though. So, but it kind of shows that the potential final that these two teams could potentially be one hell of a series. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. LeBron looking like he was just gearing up and playing at his best. Giannis, playing a typical Giannis game actually.
Pretty much.
So I mean, I think that would be one hell of a titanic battle for a final.
Yeah, essentially, you know what it came down to? The stars showed up.
Mhm.
AD had a big game, 30 plus points. Brown had a big game, 30 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, and I don't know, I think it was 8 assists. I think it actually might have been 30 something, 8 and 8, whatever. And Giannis had 31, 8 and something. So I mean, the stars showed up, and that's actually where the discrepancy came up for them. The Bucks didn't have a second star.
Yeah.
Didn't get anything from Middleton.
Mhm.
Didn't get much from Bledsoe. Didn't get much from the Lopez brothers. You know what I mean? It was that's what it came down to. I think the Bucks are going to be. That's always going to be a question for them.
Yeah.
Is whether or not that second, third guy is going to step up and help the Greek Freak do his thing. But
Yeah.
a good win for the Lakers. I liked the pace of the game.
Yep.
I liked the intensity of the game. It was a well played game. Like I said, the Bucks could have taken advantage in the second quarter when AD went out with his third foul.
Well, yeah. I mean, he got some real
Right.
quick fouls, and they didn't take advantage
Did
of
not
that
take advantage of
situation.
that. So I think that came back to bite them.
Yeah.
The game was tied at half, I think 48 apiece. And then, the Lakers just kind of, it was just a stronger team in the second half. So good win for them.
It's a fun in-season type of game. One of the best that we've seen this season. I mean, obviously with the playoffs we'll see games very similar to this, as far as competitiveness. But just to have that kind of competitiveness in a regular season game, that's a lot of fun.
For sure. So this brings us to the next big game of the weekend, which is the Battle of LA.
Mhm.
The Lakers travel to Clipperville to play the Clippers for the third time this year.
Yep.
Clippers got 2 wins already.
Yep.
How big of a game is this for the Lakers?
I think this is a big game. I mean, the Lakers have just coming off that win against the Bucks, they've kind of built a little bit of momentum. They've proven that they can beat the big teams. Not that they hadn't proven it before, but they kind of proved it again against the best team in the league. So it's important for them to kind of have a good showing, especially against a team that they have not been able to beat this year.
Mhm.
I mean, and of course, like Staples Center. I mean, they share this arena, but let's be honest, this is actually the Lakers arena,
Yes.
and the Clippers are just kind of stepson type tenants in there.
Just visiting.
Exactly, just
Paying
visiting.
some rent right now.
They and I mean they're the stories are that they're going to eventually build their own stadium.
Essentially
kind of
next
have
year
their own
or
thing.
the year after.
So I mean that just kind of shows that this is really LA land, and LA's kind of got to, in my opinion, they got to come out and show that this is actually their turf and that they own this and that they are and that they could actually beat this team. Or else, I mean, if they face each other in the Western Conference Final, which is what I think is going to happen, the Clippers might have a psychological advantage on them.
Just might, yeah.
I'm not sure that I put a whole lot of stock in things like that all the time, because I've seen certain teams, sweep teams in the regular season and then get swept in the playoffs. But so I mean, it doesn't always work and translate like that. But I mean, I think it's one of those wins that maybe for games that for yourself and your team, you kind of say, you know what, we kind of want to show that we can beat this team. We want to kind of prove to them as well as to ourselves that we can.
So they definitely need a statement game. So, which is why I thought it was strange that Jared Dudley, end the bench guy who does love to run his mouth, did it last year in the playoffs against Ben Simmons. whatever, and then got smoked against the Sixers.
That's right.
But Jared Dudley, I guess, was asked what he thinks about the rivalry between two LA teams, and he was smart enough to say, what rivalry? If you look up in the rafters, there's only Lakers banners. There's no Clippers banners.
But the thing about it also is he's only been on the team for like a minute and a half.
Right.
He doesn't have anything to do with
those banners. And you know what? The truth of the matter is, he could have said that if the Lakers were 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And the banners were up there as well, right?
Yeah.
But you've lost to this Clippers team, which is looking to dethrone and become the LA team. Who knows what's going to happen, but whatever. Results are what matters. If they get through them and get to the championship, whatever, that's all that's going to matter at the end of the day. But yeah, I thought it was kind of strange that he would make a comment like that.
Let me tell you one thing: them banners can't help you win that game or any titles in the future, buddy. That's all nice. That stuff happened in the past. That ain't going to help you now.
Right. So, a good game, 3:30 p.m. on ABC, I believe, tomorrow. Tune in. I'll try to get back to you, and we'll talk about that one. Quickly, touching on the Atlanta CEO, Steve Koonin, suggests that for viewership purposes and increased ratings, the NBA should consider starting the regular season mid-December going through to August. What do you think about that?
I personally like that suggestion. I think historically the numbers have kind of shown that their ratings don't really pick up until after the Christmas Day games. I mean, they put a whole lot of stock in those Christmas Day games. It's really then a lot of people kind of look at that as the beginning of the season because especially with the football culture in the U.S., that's the end of or getting close enough to the end of the football season.
Yep.
So then people kind of start looking at basketball at that point. And I mean, so then that's when the ratings are obviously going to pick up a bit more. And because it's like the kickoff of the real important stuff that's happened that kind of carries on through the NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't disagree with that. The fact that basketball is obviously a summer sport.
It's supposed to be a summer sport, but it plays in fall and winter, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. I mean, for me, because I watch all sports and I watch so in the summer I watch a little bit of baseball, not a whole lot as much as I used to anymore, but I would love to have basketball as an alternative going through from just December, January to like August, because then that would take me right back into football season again. So I think that's actually a perfect amount of time that they can take advantage of. With when it's really just baseball. I mean, and there's MLS, I guess, as well, but that's not. I don't know how popular that is in the ratings. But the fact that those they don't have as much competition, you can kind of take advantage of that and have a really good better ratings, at least I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, good point. Touch on this real quick. The league is saying it's asking teams to prepare to play games without any fans due to the coronavirus, COVID-19.
Yeah.
Because again, they can only afford to stop play for so long. So, and rescheduling games is a bitch. So if this is something that it's obviously very serious.
Yeah.
So their precaution is going to be we're going to continue playing games without any fans. What's your thought on that?
It's a weird one because I mean this is not unusual in like European soccer in particular. When teams behave badly, then they'll be like, okay, well, your punishment is you're going to play these games without any fans, so you're not going to get that revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of an interesting take. I mean, the health issues aside from that, looking at it as far as a revenue perspective, I mean the NBA is already taking a hit on revenue based on the whole everything that happened with Daryl Morey and the China situation.
Yeah.
So they're already losing money there, and they're going to potentially lose more money with the potential of fans not being able to go to games. So it's kind of, I mean, and they got these huge TV contracts and stuff like that, but they kind of have to be able to support it with like the fan interest and making sure that people stay engaged, right? And if people can't go to games, and are they as engaged? I'm not really sure. Are people going to watch games as intently when there's no fans there? Because I mean,
it's hard.
It's
hard to watch.
It's weird to watch.
There's no atmosphere.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So you kind of like it's kind of just it takes away from it. Like as much as sometimes fans can be annoying and irritating, whatever that, but that's part of everything that goes with the game. So I don't really know. I mean, because of the health issues that are going on with in the world right now, obviously, it might necessitate that they do this. But I mean, in my opinion, I would hope that they would try to do everything possible to avoid having that. I mean, I think the spread of coronavirus in the U.S. is still relatively low compared to the rest of the world. So is this really going to be something that that is going to really have an impact, or is it just being overly cautious? I'm not really sure. I mean, is it, and at the same time, I mean, we definitely want to be cautious, but do we want to be overly cautious? I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. That's my thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know if these games get blacked out because there's no fans. Like, how does it affect me?
The old school blackout rules.
How does it affect me? All right, moving on. So it is now March 7th. We've got about 5 weeks left in the league, in the regular season. And the Western Conference, 8th through 12 seeds are just 3.5 games apart.
It's a mess, which is beautiful for us.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of shifting on there. So right now, we've got Memphis holding the 8th spot.
Yep.
Portland, 9. New Orleans, 10. Sacramento, 11. And San Antonio, 12. All right? Right now, before we go into their schedules, who do you see taking that 8th seed at the end of the year?
Man, you know what? Quite honestly, I think I'm going on a little bit of a limb here. I think Portland is going to take it, and Portland with Nurkic coming back
on the 15th
of March, I think he will provide a little bit of a boost for the team, just enough. They're close enough to be able to get into that spot. I think, and I think the Grizzlies have been playing a little bit over their heads this year. And I think they're going to fall back just a little bit when the games start getting really into crunch time. Yeah. And I think that Portland, who's had success for over a number of years, particularly last year going to the Western Conference Final, I think they're going to step up just enough to be able to get into that spot, just to hit a little bit ahead of the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies have been playing over their head a bit this year, and I think it's kind of catch up with them right now.
Yeah.
I think the underrated things about Portland, because I agree they'll probably get the 8th spot, getting Nurkic back, having Whiteside, they have Melo, they've got Dame, obviously, they've got CJ McCollum, but the undercover pickup of the trade deadline, I keep saying, is Trevor Ariza. I think they've been playing great since he's been added to the team, when they've had their full squad, so to speak, with Dame and McCollum both in the lineup along with him. They've been great. I think getting Nurkic back, they're going to be scary coming down the stretch. So it's going to be Dame time all the time. But they did take a bad loss last night to the Suns. So they got to watch that.
Yeah. Suns are a weird team that they always seem to pop up and bite teams in situations that you don't really think they should.
So here's how it breaks down. Memphis has 19 games remaining.
Yep.
8 of the games are at home. And I've considered 11 of those games that I consider to be must win. I can't say right now what's home or away, but they play Atlanta, Orlando, Portland, San Antonio, Pelicans, Knicks, Portland, OKC, Philly, and OKC again. I think those are the must wins. And I understand Philly, if they get their 2 main guys back, that's a tough game.
Yeah.
But I think that's because they're so sketchy that's a game that Memphis could probably sneak out.
Yeah.
Obviously, on this list, any of the teams that are in this playoff run have to beat the teams that they're up against, or they're behind, or whatever. So Portland, 18 games left, 11 at home. I marked down 13 games as must-wins, and that's Sacramento, Phoenix, another game against Phoenix, not the last one that they blew. But Sacramento, Phoenix, Memphis, Houston, Minnesota, Mavericks, Minnesota again, Charlotte, Detroit, the Nets, Memphis again, Cavs, and Golden State. I think those are all winnable games. The Houston game is probably going to be the toughest of the games I've listed. That Houston game is probably the toughest one. That and the Mavs game, of course.
Yeah.
When you start messing with that Texas triangle, those games get tough. But I think those are winnable games, and they have to get those ones to really push over. For Sacramento, they have 20 games left, 11 at home, and I've marked down 14 must-wins. Portland, Pelicans, Nets, Mavs, Orlando, Pelicans again, Cavs, Atlanta, Indiana, San Antonio, Cavs, San Antonio again, Minnesota, and Golden State. That's a tougher schedule. That's going to be real interesting. But I say if they can pull that off, then they might get to where they're trying to get. The Pelicans run, 19 games left, 9 at home, and I marked down 16 must-wins, and that's because their schedule is actually kind of light. But it goes Minnesota, Sacramento, Atlanta, San Antonio, Memphis, Sacramento again, Memphis, the Knicks, Orlando, Atlanta again, Wizards, San Antonio, Charlotte, Phoenix, the Wizards, and San Antonio again. It's kind of a favorable schedule when you consider everybody in there. Wizards twice. You don't know what you're getting from San Antonio, but they're in the mix, so you don't know what's going to happen with a pop team.
Yeah.
But I think they have a pretty favorable schedule. San Antonio now, 21 games left, 12 at home. I have them also listed with 16 must-wins. All right? They've got the Cavs, Mavs, Minnesota, Memphis, Pelicans, Chicago, Jazz, Minnesota, Golden State, Sacramento, Golden State, the Pelicans, Sacramento, Philly, Indy, and New Orleans again. Yeah. A lot of games against teams that are in the fight against. So if you can win these games, that's going to put you up a bit. Those are the ones you want to get.
I look see it. Yeah, I know. So you mentioned like must-win games, stuff like that. I look, see teams like Memphis. Sorry, not Memphis. Minnesota.
Spoilers, Phoenix, baby. Spoilers.
Memphis and Minnesota, Phoenix, and like teams like Atlanta and Orlando. You just sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get from them night to night. Even Washington, like you're gonna. So I mean, they're in theory they're teams that should take losses, but the teams these teams that are fighting for the 8th spot or fighting for the 8th spot are they're the reason why they're fighting for the 8th spot is because they are maddeningly inconsistent. So you don't know what you're going to get from them on a night-to-night basis.
True.
You typically expect that you're going to get a little bit above average play at least from them, but you don't necessarily know. And then sometimes you from the other teams, the other teams are looking at them and saying, "This is where we get our wins," because they're not. This is not one of the great teams in the league.
Right.
They're looking at them and saying, "We can get a win off of these guys." So then they kind of step their game up. And, sometimes it's not even just that. It's sometimes just teams like just hit shots. I mean, maybe Trae Young goes off.
It happens.
Trae Young goes off for 40-something points or whatever. Yeah. And next thing you know, when you see him lick threes in a game, he hits 3 in a row, and all of a sudden you're down by 10 points or whatever like that.
Yeah,
you get demoralized, and you kind of the things that better teams like the Lakers, the Clippers, the Bucks, and the Raptors, what they do is when they get down like that, they come back and they say, you know what, this is a 48-minute game at least. We can come back. We know that, and they just and they steady the ship, and then they kind of just work their way back. Other teams who are not as experienced and not as good, not as deep, not as talented, they see stuff like that. They get down, and then they start panicking, start forcing things, and then things happen, and then that's when and next thing you know, the game starts getting out of hand, and then they have no way back from that. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what makes them inconsistent. So. I mean, there's definitely games that they should win, and if you're the teams that are that go places tend to win these games. But I would not put it on them to say that I think that the Memphises, the New Orleans, particularly Sacramento and San Antonio, I don't look at them as teams that are going to be just that they're all of a sudden they're going to be able to turn on and just win all those games that are in front of them that they should win.
I am reluctant. I've been fighting for San Antonio all year.
Right.
I don't want the streak to end, but I'm going to concede to T. Rome and the architect Ed. You're right. I think the run ends this year.
Yeah.
I don't know about blowing it up, but obviously San Antonio got to do something different to get back to where they were. Fighting for a 6 to 8 seed is not where you want to be in the. That's not
a Popovich team, and that's atypical of what he does. And I mean, just you mentioned blowing it up. I think they should blow it up because I don't think they have a good enough mix. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is past his best before date. I think DeMar DeRozan. I think he's flawed as a player. I like DeMar DeRozan as a person. And I think he's got a really good game, but I think that
he's a good piece, though.
He's a good piece. He's there's too much put on him.
Right now, he's in a leadership role, and he's not gonna propel a team.
Exactly.
And we've seen that already. He's a good piece, but he's not gonna propel you to your goals. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that's they should do. I don't think they should maintain this core. I think they should kind of blow it up, get rid of these guys, and kind of maybe stock some draft picks. But the thing also is, how long do we think that Popovich is going to be around?
I don't know. That's a good point, man.
So, I mean, is he going to want to stick around through a rebuild? Probably
not. So, no. He's done that once 22 years ago.
But at the same time, exactly, right? But reloading with this roster that they have or trying to tweak it and stuff like that isn't going to work in my opinion, because I just don't think I never really thought LaMarcus Aldridge was a winning player. DeMar DeRozan, I think he's had a certain level of success, but I don't think that he's that guy that's going to really take you, as you said. So I mean, I don't look at them as a team that I would say
there's too much talent in the West right now for the system to pull you over like it's had like it's done for them in the past. So
you need to have the right guys in the system, and like I said, I don't think this is the right mix of players to go anywhere.
All right,
blow it up.
So that's final. Portland's going to make the 8th seed. Spurs are going to blow it up. And until next time, this has been the Mansdem. It's the Herb, Jesus Noir. Catch you next time. Peace out.